what's the deal with straw men? It's like somebody makes an argument, but you take the weakest version of that argument and you argue against that. What's the deal with that? Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, all right. And what's the deal with this guy making a whole channel called TheStrawMan? Well, what's the deal with that? Is he just going to make straw man arguments? Well, I don't know. You know? All right. So, he's got a video. Isn't that funny? What's the deal with video? Okay, enough of that. Anyway, so this guy, Mistakes Atheists Make, Episode 1, Breakfast Tacos. Why? So, you want to analyze something, for logical fallacies or whatever. Yeah, that's great. I love that. It's fantastic. I know breakfast tacos to some extent. Not well. He is doing a very specific thing. Whether you agree with what he's doing or not, it's a side note. What he is doing is being a presuppositional atheist. He is not serious on that position, but it is when he espouses. There is a reason for this. There is a method to this madness, and that is to expose how weak and pathetic presuppositionalism is by demonstrating to Christians how annoying, frustrating, arrogant, ignorant, and broken precept is. Throw it back in their face. If your criticism does not showcase that you understand this, then your criticism is null and void. His criticism, I suspect, will not showcase this. Let's check it out.
Hello, my fellow strawmen, and welcome back to the Fields of Hay. Today's video is a bit different than my usual, although I plan to make more like it. I'm known on this channel for disagreeing very strongly with theists, but atheism is no monolith, and there are plenty who I disagree with, even if we're nominally on the same side of the debate. It's always a little easier to take criticism from those within your own circle, so it may be even more important to critique those who agree with me to make sure we're getting the details right. So with that goal in mind, my first video on mistakes atheists make will be directed towards a presuppositional atheist known as breakfast tacos, although the video I stumbled into is from the point of view of an Orthodox Christian named Friar Joseph. It's actually quite nice to see it from his point of view, because Taco and friends are very quick to use the mute button at times. Take it away, Joseph.
Well, we're here. I'm here on my stream, and I've been trying to find an opponent for a topic that probably is of no interest to you. Now, you guys are these philosophical atheists. You have like a kind of an opening pitch, correct?
Well, I would more like to ask you a question if you'd prefer to engage with atheist presuppositional apologetics. It only takes about 14 minutes to deconvert you.
Oh, this should be good then.
I also find it funny how overconfident and completely unaware breakfast tacos is.
All right, there you go. Not understanding what breakfast tacos is clearly doing. That arrogance is what presuppositionalists do. If you've listened to any of them, it's obvious what breakfast tacos is doing.
He thinks that by pointing out some presuppositional assertions, he can make Joseph realize something he's never realized his whole life, despite it being something which he's thought about a lot. I think the friar's reaction was appropriate. Now, unfortunately, since this is part of Taco's long stream, he has to run to the bathroom. So we get some interim arguments from his friends before we really get to the presuppositional meat. It's kind of hard to read their names. I think it says Leo Filius, so I'll just call him Leo.
In the meantime, I'm an atheist, so you can shoot questions my way.
Okay. Why are you an atheist?
Because I think that there is scant evidence for the existence of God, and I think that the evidence against the existence of God is enough to establish the likelihood of the claim God does not exist being true.
This is by far the smartest response you'll hear in this video about what atheism is. The first half, that there is scant evidence for God, is a pretty good...
All right, this is the smartest response that you'll hear. Good poisoning of the well there, buddy.
Reason to be at least an agnostic atheist. But Leo wants to take the Gnostic stance and says he has evidence in favor of that statement. So far, so good, as long as he can back up that evidence. I'm a bit skeptical, though. I know how to make an argument against God, but evidence is a different beast, and God's unfalsifiable nature makes it very difficult to find something conclusively against him.
Can you?
That depends on which version of God you're speaking about, because some gods are falsifiable, at least within, depending on a lot of variables. But that they're unfalsifiable pretty much falsifies them. Yeah.
Can you give me some evidence against the existence of God?
So normally, I'm a
Switching burden of proof.
It's called a naturalist. I think the natural world is all that exists. I don't think that anything beyond the natural, like supernatural, preternatural, spiritual things, I take that none of that is real.
Leo is going to continue with some reasons, so he's not pre-supping yet, but he's dangerously close. Personally,
no, he's not.
I don't take the stance that spiritual or supernatural things definitely don't exist. It's just that I have lots of evidence for natural things, so I believe they exist, and I'm still waiting on that evidence for the supernatural.
Yeah, it's funny. This was kind of my position for a long time, that I was being rather careful with saying that they don't exist, until I got a hold of this idea from Answers in Atheism. I'm a localized naturalist materialist. There's zero evidence of any non-natural, non-material things that I personally know about. None. Not even a little. So you can maybe add that to your repertoire and say that you're a localized materialist naturalist, and then that way you can say, yeah, I don't have any evidence of any of this spiritual stuff. So it might as well not be. If it's out there in the universe, we haven't found it. So you could be a localized naturalist materialist, and thus have no evidence of the supernatural, which is exactly what we don't have.
Natural and the spiritual. I said earlier that it's hard to find conclusive evidence against God, and the supernatural is an even more general thing than God, so the challenge is greater still.
And supernatural and God are both vague, but in different, different ways. But yeah, okay, whatever.
And as to the preternatural, which was a word I had to go look up, I understand it to mean things which happen naturally but beyond human comprehension, and I absolutely think that exists. If I'm understanding the word right, most of the universe is preternatural. So let's hear those reasons, of which he has three. His first is
the fact that science is extremely successful in
lots of
describing how the world works.
I mean, okay, that
isn't just
that's an appeal to
successful
populism.
In how it describes reality.
It's not appeal to populism. It's appeal to, if anything, it would be an appeal to what? What would you say? Working? Kind of whatever,
Reality.
Yeah, that's an appeal to popularity.
No.
I disagree with Joseph's rebuttal because science is not based on what the most popular conclusion shows. It's based on what the evidence points to. And yes, there is a lot of trust that goes into the experts who determine what that evidence shows. I'm willing to give them that trust because their experience puts them in the best position to understand the evidence correctly, and because the scientific process is self-correcting, valuing scrutiny higher than dogma. But Leo's point is also bad. Why can't science just be our mechanism for coming to an understanding of the nature of God's creation? What does the accuracy of science have anything to do with the non-existence of God? I can account for the accuracy of science whether a God exists or not.
By saying it's extremely successful to men.
Well, I don't need to defend Leo, far be it from me to do so. The more charitable view would be that science is a methodology we know that works, and theism doesn't.
You are implying popularity.
Leo didn't say too many, and by extremely successful, he's referring to the fact that with the time and resources, anybody can go double-check the conclusions. If you don't believe in gravity, you can go run the Cavendish experiment yourself with some strings, some weights, some mirror, and a laser. It isn't about it being accurate to many. It's about the fact that reality behaves accurately to the descriptions of science.
What about scientific discoveries made by theists? Are those
What about
also are they also
What about
good
them?
and useful, even though they were made by
Of
theists?
course they are.
Well, that's strange because their presuppositions included supernatural explanations, whereas their scientific
Sure, but the science doesn't.
Why did you sir me?
person
Like you're
might
getting
have-
okay. Why are you getting indignant? Relax.
I'm not getting
you
indignant.
just
What
got
I'm saying is
indignant
that,
before.
well, I didn't. But what I'm saying is that the people have certain theistic presuppositions, but the science that they do does not.
Yeah, but there are also atheist scientists out there who presuppose no God exists, but the science they do doesn't. Science does not presuppose either God's existence or his non-existence. So Joseph is making a good point here. Leo is failing to point out how science is incompatible with God. He may be right that science is accurate about the nature of reality without presupposing a God, but that doesn't mean no God exists. Joseph
Just makes God completely and utterly irrelevant to the whole system, doesn't it? You don't need God in science. Whether you presuppose it or not is irrelevant. You just don't even need the hypothesis of God. You're not being very charitable here. I would be okay if you're pointing out just fallacies, but you're not. So, that's why I'm doing this.
correctly identifies this.
So really, it's not a theistic or non-theistic.
Well, what do you mean by it's not a theistic or a non-theistic?
Because what you've effectively established is that science as methodology can be used whether in a theistic or atheistic
Yeah, it can
context.
be used.
Right.
It can be used by anybody, regardless of their beliefs. That's the nature of science.
Right, but you were presenting it as a counter-argument against theism, and I'm saying it's irrelevant.
It is, because science doesn't show us that anything supernatural exists.
This is the classic black swan fallacy. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So while
no, that's not what the black swan. You just mixed up two fallacies. Okay, black swan's fallacy is, you've never seen a black swan, so therefore there are none. It's an extrapolation based on observation, but science has never discovered the supernatural. That is a true statement. It is not a black swan fallacy. So, there's no proof of the supernatural. In fact, supernatural is defined in a way that science couldn't explore it, even if it was a thing anyways. So, its existence is unscientific in nature. The point is, science can be done by anybody. Theism just says what's true without caring about reality.
While it's a good reason to fail to believe in the supernatural, it doesn't meet the burden of proof to show that the supernatural does not exist.
Well, it kind of does, though, because the supernatural can't be proven. So why posit it? That's the problem. That is the problem. You cannot demonstrate the supernatural using any method, not just science, but any method at all, where the method is known to work. You can't do it via logic. So that's it. You've got science and logic. Those are the only two methods that I'm aware of that you can utilize to get to a conclusion that you can trust. So you can say, well, but you can't disprove X, Y, and you can't disprove whatever. Doesn't matter. You need to prove it. If you can't prove it, then it might as well not be. Just missing the points here, man.
This point continues a little longer, but nothing new gets said. So Joseph gets tired of the bad argument and moves to the next point.
All right. Well, can you get to breakfast tacos? Because I was here for breakfast tacos.
But what was your second thing? Because the first one's tiring.
The second one was the incongruence of religious beliefs across space and time.
In other words, people disagreed with each other over time and history.
Yeah,
countries,
religious
etc.
beliefs have been vastly different and have changed over space and time across regions and time periods. And this isn't expected given the claims of many of the largest religions today, claims that God has some sort of desire to reveal himself to us through some truth that he gives us.
This one I respect a little more than the first, because it's at least a problem for theism. But it's a solvable one, and there are plenty of theodicies answering it. Some aren't great. Some say that God has revealed himself to everyone and that the answer is obvious to all, but that's patently untrue. But other theodicies work, like referencing free will and human fallibility, changing.
How does that theodicy work? By work, you mean it's sound? Those aren't sound arguments. They include several presuppositions in them. What are you talking about?
Expectations for God to reveal himself to each and every individual. Joseph's response puts him more in the latter category, adding in the point that he would expect religions to change over time as they accumulate knowledge of God's nature, much like science changes.
Yeah, but why would God give us a bunch of...
Science updates based on new information. Religion just morphs to try to survive, if anything. It isn't interested in truth. It's interested in promoting itself so that it stays existent. Goodness gracious. What? I mean, come on, man.
False narratives and incomplete information that we have to work through, and half the people get it wrong.
But a question is not an argument, and Leo's failure to understand why God wouldn't want religious unity doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. The answer could be as simple as God wanting to test us. Perhaps he values our afterlives more than our lives. So Joseph makes his own points to similar effect and correctly decides that Leo's second reason isn't very good.
Okay.
No, not really. Questions contain premises and can be viewed as part of an essay-style argumentation, if not a syllogism. But yes, you're technically right, the best type of right, so okay, fine. But since you're just being completely uncharitable to Leo, and I mean, that's fine. You know, go talk to Leo yourself. Let's see how that does. I'd love to see you do that. That'd be interesting. I mean, what's the point? What? Come on, just get. It's not.
What was your third one?
My third one was the theism is ill-defined.
Which is a stupid reason. If you don't know what the concept at hand means, then you don't know whether it exists or not.
No, it's not a super. Theism is ill-defined. That is a true statement. It's not a stupid statement because it is a true statement. Like, oh, stupid statement. That's not an argument either. Oh, what you said is a stupid statement. Okay, cool. And what's your argument? Straw man, come on. Come on, man. Just, have you learned? Okay, I'm going to ask it. Have you learned informal logic? Because if not, go learn it. Come back once you've done that. Because this is not an analysis. You're not steel manning anything. You're being very uncharitable. And you're not you're kind of trying to point out some fallacies, but you're not really doing a good job of it. So do better.
I can think of several common definitions, most of which I either have different words for or are more agnostic in their existence.
Yeah, but it's ill-defined because there's multiple variants of it. See atheism for more.
When I say that I know God doesn't exist, I'm talking about the most common usage of the word, meaning a being from which all the rest of reality stems, a creator God. I don't have to worry about restricting myself to Brahma or Yahweh or the Baptist interpretation of Yahweh. I think that a creator God doesn't exist. But to say that God doesn't exist because I don't know what God means would just be a deflection and pretty dishonest.
No, it wouldn't be. Again, look up atheism.
I'm a bit disappointed that Joseph doesn't call this out or give a straightforward definition for what he understands God to be. Instead, the conversation goes back to the religious incongruity point, so there's not much more for me to comment on this part of the discussion.
Wow.
But then this happens.
I find atheist apologetics to be amusing, for lack of a better word, because you're basically arguing to defend nothing. Let me see here.
Well, atheism isn't nothing. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, it's a belief in nothing.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
Joseph, I'm taking your side of this argument more than I typically would because this video is meant to be an internal critique of atheism. But man, when you say something stupid...
An internal critique of atheism? That has no coherent anything. Atheism isn't a worldview. It's a description. Don't believe in God. You're an atheist. Say there's no God. You're an atheist. There's nothing to critique about it. No, you can't do an internal critique of atheism. It's not a worldview. Come on, man.
stupid like that, I gotta jump in. If I'm lucky enough that you watch this video, I need you to understand that I explicitly reject the idea that the universe came from nothing.
Everyone does.
I find the idea incongruent with the first law of thermodynamics, which is a pretty serious violation. And although I believe there are no...
What's the first law of thermodynamics? How many laws of thermodynamics are there, Strawman? Without looking it up. Do you know?
Objective morals, I do find grounding for my own subjective morality in humanism, and I think a lot of others can too. In no respect do I preach in favor of nothingness. But finally, they get back to Taco, who's now been...
Right, so atheism isn't nothingness.
Sitting quietly for a few minutes, just waiting to unleash his barrage.
Hey there, Taco.
Atheist, you gave a terrible mischaracterization of atheist presuppositional apologetics. So atheist presuppositional apologetics is simply elucidating the truth to unrighteous individuals like yourself that are rejecting the self-evident truth of our shared naturalistic atheistic reality that's been revealed to all of sound mind through both natural and special revelation in an undeniable way, right? Oh. So that's my question to you.
I had to pause, throw up, and then re-listen to that sentence before I could respond to it.
Oh, get off your high horse. Come on. Stop poisoning the well. All right? I had to pause and throw up. Come on. Really? I know what Breakfast Tacos is doing. You don't get it. You don't like it. Whatever. Fine. What's your argument?
It was one of the most brain-dead things I've ever heard someone say.
Well, what you just said was one of the most brain-dead things I've ever heard anyone say. You know what? I'm done. No, I refuse to analyze any more of your video. That's how bad it is. You have nothing here of substance. Your analysis is subpar. Your lack of nuance and critical thinking is apparent. And your attempt to do logic is laughable and wrong. You, sir, are stupid. Oh, also, on top of being stupid, your argument sucks, which is all that matters. You don't have a valid and sound argument, and you didn't offer a decent analysis of what was going on. You don't like presupposition. Yeah, nobody does. Breakfast Tacos is doing a shtick. It's meant to be annoying. That's it. You don't get it. What a waste. Just what a waste. TheStrawMan. Normally I invite people to come and talk to me, but not you. You're dead to me. Yeah, that's how bad you broke it. Yeah, just no. So go and tell him, how wrong he is on his video, I guess. And I guess I'll ignore everybody. And I look forward to his straw man of my response to him, which he won't make because, well, he doesn't have any sound arguments to offer for anything, even a little. And he doesn't know how to analyze anything. That's apparent. Golly. Oh, man. Oh, I'm just so sick of it. I just hate it so much. Oh, right. Everything I did there is called hyperbolic, straw man. Did you think I was being serious? That stuff was serious? Did you? Oh, you don't understand sarcasm. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Anyways.
In fact, this kind of stupidity is why I couldn't make my first anti-precept video against atheists, because then I'd be accused of responding this way because I need an ad hominem attack because I don't have a real response.
No. Who cares what you're accused of? Make a video against presuppositionalism and point out the logical errors in it. But you think that you need to go after precept atheism to do that? No, you don't. Who cares what people accuse you of? That's irrelevant. What matters is, do you have a sound argument against presuppositionalism? And it's very easy. It's not that hard to talk against precept. It is annoying. It is frustrating. It is a broken system because it doesn't care about logic. It asserts that God is the thing required to do logic and then proceeds from there. Or it asserts that God is the thing required to have knowledge or speak or be smart or anything else. It pre-assumes God and then says, whatever you're doing, it's because God exists. And so everything you do is proof that there's a God. And then it declares itself a victor. That's non-logic. It doesn't care about logic. It doesn't want to care about logic. It wants to assert that it's true, that it works, and that it's valid without any proof at all. That's what's broken about precept. And that's not ad hominem anybody at all, because you're not attacking people, you're attacking the idea. So, Strawman, your reason for doing this is not coherent at all. Now I'm done with this video for real. No, I'm not.
Get to my response in a second, but I want to be clear that any kind of precept, atheist or otherwise, is utterly dishonest. Not just as a debate tool, but as a foundation for one's worldview.
Yeah, and that's the point. Breakfast Tacos is using it for a specific purpose to annoy theists and show them how annoying precept is. It's not meant to be taken seriously. Hello? I mean, like...
Anyone who holds to precept is being dishonest to themselves. Taco starts by literally defining his position to be true. I understand that such thinking is a great way to make sure you hold to your dogma, but it's a terrible way to convince an opponent in an argument.
Well, you're just saying that because you're borrowing from my worldview, which is lobsterism, and without lobsterism, you couldn't make that statement. So clearly you don't understand reality unless you agree with lobsterists. So, that's the problem. Yes, precept is annoying. I get it. But you're not offering an analysis of precept. Not really. You're just, come on. Jeez.
When Joseph hears Taco say that atheism is self-evident, he's going to think that Taco is a lazy, arrogant moron, because anyone who actually was of sound mind should be able to recognize that calling your position self-evident or undeniable doesn't make it so.
Yet theists do that all the time, and Breakfast Tacos is just doing what they do unto them as you'd have them do unto you. Well, that's exactly what Breakfast Tacos is doing. He's doing unto them what they do to us. Again, you don't have to agree with it, but I think there's room enough for every single tactic out there, including your crappy tactic. Your crappy tactic of not analyzing something decently and not giving any actual arguments. There's room for that. And the room is, I get to tell you that you're wrong. And here's why. You don't get it. He's doing this for a specific reason. Maybe you should have talked to Breakfast Taco. Just an idea, And hey, look, I've done it myself. I've gone live to respond to something without thinking about it and started hammering analysis when I could have talked to the person and not done it. But this is an edited video, so I mean, come on. It's just, little to no excuse here. But again, it's self-evident that you're wrong. Oh, that's a stupid statement to make. What did you just say? You said that it's self-evident that it is stupid to say that it is self-evident. So you just did the same thing that you didn't want the other people to do. Anyone that uses precept is obviously wrong. Okay, that's a self-evidential statement. So now you're precepting precept it being wrong. Oops, but being a hypocrite isn't a logical fallacy, so you're free to do it.
Then he calls Joseph an unrighteous individual, even though the conversation has only just started and Joseph has barely done anything.
Well, yeah, because again, under the presuppositionalism of atheism, he is unrighteous because he needs atheism to save him.
Taco simply makes this judgment without any care for the truth, and he repeats it when he later says that all those of sound mind have had atheism revealed to them.
Yeah, well, that's atheism, but it is a true statement under Breakfast Taco's presuppositionalism. You're not doing an internal critique of presuppositionalism atheism here. You're just complaining about it. I'm just pretending that this is an analysis at this point.
And to top it off, I'm not even sure what he means by special revelation. Usually I hear theists talking about that as a message from God, but Taco doesn't believe in God.
Because it's a parody! Hello? Taking a parody seriously. All right.
So what revelations are these?
So, Joseph, do you reject the self-evident truth of our shared naturalistic, atheistic reality that's been revealed to all of sound mind through both natural and special revelation in an undeniable way?
I have never heard so blatantly dishonest and biased a question. It's like he's completely unaware that calling something undeniable doesn't make it undeniable. But
well, it's undeniable that doing what you just said is undeniably stupid.
If it does, then he's wrong, and that's an undeniable fact.
You just did that. I was joking, and then you did the thing that I was joking about?
Were I faithful enough in my childhood beliefs to still be a theist, this kind of argument would have strengthened that faith. I would see clearly that the Bible is right about atheists, that they're prideful and egotistical and hard-hearted. Yeah. I think that if Taco wants to convince theists over to our side, his most effective strategy would be to stop talking.
You said
that's not his. You're assuming that he's trying to get people to our side and not just troll them. Well, why assume that? Goodness gracious! You need to Oh man, I gotta get Breakfast Tacos to check this out. This is comedy gold. There's more. Oh man, do I want to keep going? I mean, there's no way to fix his analysis at this point. He's taking Breakfast Tacos absolutely serious at face value and complaining about it, while trying to critique presuppositionalism, doing a bad job of that, pointing out things that don't, whatever, you point out whatever, but this is weird. This is weird, man. This is weird. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of Breakfast Taco and talk to him. I'm sure he would love this. Let's see if I can find him. Oh, I should probably end this episode. Okay, so Blaster Master is a master blaster. I was just thinking about finishing, but you know what? Get in here, Blaster. I don't know if you saw this. This is scary. I found him. Let's see. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Let's see. I gotta email him. This is great. Click all those stairs. Okay. All right. Give me your email address. There we go. Oh man, this is great. Copy. Is he live now? That'd be great if he was. Oh wait, is he?
Active experiences are relevant.
He is. Hey. I need to. Yes. Yeah, he is live. So maybe I don't end it. I just got here. Oh, there's Blaster. Hello, Blaster. Sorry, I was looking at the other thing.
Hey, buddy.
What's up?
Same old shit, different day, man.
Oh, man. So I found this video complaining about breakfast tacos. Do you know Breakfast Tacos? Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah. He's a good guy.
You of a video can't link it. He's live now, so I'm telling him. I was going to email you it. I am doing a live reaction of it now and thought you need to know about it so you can mock it. Okay, so anyway, so what's Precept Taco's deal? In short,
What's his pre-sup?
yeah. Well, why is he doing it? Why does he do Precept?
He does it to show how ridiculous it is for the Christians to do it.
Okay, so you wouldn't take it seriously, would you?
No.
Oh, okay. So
No,
what would
not
you make
in the
of
slightest.
what would you make of somebody who took it completely seriously?
I think they don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's this video that I'm talking about right now.
Well, now I'm disappointed I missed it.
Yeah, so you'll have to go back and look at it, and I can't
Who put it out?
I can't link it. No wrench. Who put it out? Oh, his channel name is amazing. Here, hold on. Where's the thingy? Where are we? No, that's the thingy. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Put that over here, and then mute that. I don't need that. And then go back to their. Goodness gracious, breakfast tacos. Okay, all right. So it's called TheStrawMan. The TheStrawMan.
Okay. But it's not a straw man.
No, his channel's called TheStrawMan.
Well, that's stupid.
Hello, weary internet.
Strawman Skeptic.
Is he a troll?
No. Is there a God? I think not. And on this channel, I'll share my thoughts and opinions on the theistic debate. Welcome to the Fields of Hay. I mean, okay, whatever, you can have, it is funny it's weird, whatever, so, lots of hay, that's his thing, fine.
I believe it's called straw.
Yeah, well, whatever, hay, straw, whatever, complaining about stuff, that's great. I'm happy with all that. That's absolutely fine. But then he decided, he was going to make a video. This is why I found him. Mistakes Atheists Make, Episode 1, Breakfast Tacos. And I'm like,
that's weird.
That is a theist complaining about stuff, right? Like, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no,
an atheist?
I'm an atheist. Yeah, and I'm complaining about breakfast tacos because I don't like Precept. See?
Well, so he doesn't understand like an argument from absurdity, basically, or whatever.
Right. Well, and I don't like Precept either, but his and all this is in the previous, so people listening will be like, you're covering, but I'm covering for Blast because I'm trying to summarize.
I wasn't here.
You wasn't here, so it doesn't count for people that already watched everything.
Suck it up.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to recap it. So, and then, okay, Discord, you can send it a message with the link. I don't
give me
do
1 second. I'll be right back. I'm still listening.
I don't do Discord. Nah. I'll email it. Nah. Anyway. Okay. Later. Okay. I can't do live and talk to him and just like too many things at once. Okay, so let's email Breakfast Tacos. He's got to know about this. Compose. Breakfast Tacos. What a bad analysis. Just, oh, wait. No, that's not it. Oh, you stinking thing. Where was it? I just saw it. Oh, okay. Let's open link a new window. Let's go back.
Hello, weary internet traveler.
Breakfast tacos.
So,
atheist.
without recapping the entire video, can you maybe tell me what his main complaint was?
Well, you know, precept sucks, which I agree, you know.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But you can't, it's dishonest. Anyone doing it is dishonest. Well, that's, poisoning of the well, but whatever.
Yeah.
So you can't. So his reason is that if he didn't complain about breakfast tacos precept, that somebody would accuse him of ad hominem or something like that because he hates precept so much. And I said, so what? Who cares what people might accuse you of? So it's like, I'm going to use breakfast taco as an example of presuppositionalism to analyze presuppositionalism. Great, fine, but he didn't do it very well. And, he complained about Leo, but who cares about, whatever. Leo is Leo, He can handle himself, Not that breakfast tacos can't or anything like that. I'm sure breakfast is going to get a kick out of this guy's video, and he'll probably do a thing on it. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to analyze a video, absolutely fine. I do that. I've done that, And I made my social faux pas thingy where, I saw the thing and I was like, I'm going to analyze this live right now. And then I thought after the fact, I'm like, I could have just emailed the guy and talked to him and asked him to clarify these points. I didn't need to do any of that. Oops. But I left it up because it's like, well, if it's a mistake I've made, then here it is. Here's my mistake, and
you'll own it.
I don't know. It's up to people to decide whether it was a mistake to analyze or not.
Did you ever talk to that one philosophy guy that you were talking to like a week or two ago?
Apex Mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd been sick. He got sick. And then he said he's better now. So I said, well, give me a time, day. You need to see this. I'm trying to email breakfast.
That guy's he's a bit odd. I think philosophers in general, most philosophers are just a bit odd, but some of the like religious ones are like super weird to me. They just seem weird. There's something off about them.
Okay, so where was I?
It's like you have all this philosophical knowledge, and yet you still believe in nonsense. Come on.
I'm trying to figure out where I was in the video. Okay, well, I think I'm not sure because it's all hay.
It's all hay.
I understand that such thinking is
That's wheat. Actually, that's wheat.
Look, whatever it is, I don't care what it is.
It's not hay. I can tell you that.
In an undeniable way, right? So that's my question to you.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. Okay, so you're going to listen to this a little bit, and you're going to help me to make fun of it. I mean, analyze it.
Okay, I will definitely help you.
All right, yeah.
I had to pause, throw up, and then re-listen to that sentence before I could respond to it.
Oh, yeah, I already made fun of this part.
Anti-precept video against atheists, because then I'd be accused of responding this way because I need an ad hominem attack because I don't have a real response. I'll get to my response in a second.
You did an Hey, StrawMan, you did an ad hominem attack. You don't have a real response. I'm doing the very thing that you said that you were worried that somebody would do.
Well, Mike,
but I want to be clear that
I don't know.
So he just went into this without understanding what Breakfast Taco's intentions were of doing what he does. He does it to mock. He does it as a direct response to Darth Dawkins. That's how it started.
But see, he's taking it seriously. So
yeah, well, he should have gone to Darth Dawkins. He should go to Darth Dawkins and criticize him. Not.
Oh no, because then he'd be accused of doing an ad hominem against presuppositionalism, even though that's not an ad hominem.
Yeah. What? Okay, so he just doesn't understand informal logic.
I guess not.
Or otherwise, is utterly dishonest. Not just as a debate tool, but as a foundation for one's worldview. Anyone who holds to precept is being dishonest to themselves.
It's gaslighting.
Anyone that wants to precept is just being dishonest.
It's gaslighting.
I mean, whatever.
Okay, here's what happens is when you say that someone else can't account for things because of your worldview, that's definitely like a form of abuse. I consider that gaslighting. And that's what precepts do. I don't think what Breakfast Taco does is that. He is doing it in a response to precepts.
Right.
Precepts is Christians that are doing it.
Yeah, he does it to everybody, but
it's just a self-defense mechanism, though, for the most part, right?
All right, yeah.
Taco starts by literally defining his position to be true. I understand that such thinking is a great way to make sure you hold to your dogma, but it's a terrible way to convince an opponent in an argument. When Joseph hears Taco say that atheism is self-evident...
Not necessarily.
Well, I mean, it works against people that accept the stupid...
It can work if you're very certain about something, and, that can impress somebody. Now, work in terms of logically speaking, that's different. The argument fails because it presupposes the conclusion is circular. That's why precept fails on a logical level, is it's circular. That's it. You don't need to say more, but okay.
He's going to think that Taco is a lazy, arrogant moron. Because anyone who actually was of sound mind should be able to recognize that calling your position self-evident or undeniable doesn't make it so.
Anyone that has these prerequisites that are all negative or positive traits is X. This is called what? Ad hominem. And
poisoning the well.
Poisoning of the well. And, we're here to do an analysis, I guess. What's this? I got 3 comments. It's something else, some other thing. Oh, okay.
Then he calls Joseph an unrighteous individual, even though the conversation has only just started, and Joseph has
we're back. Yeah, we're back.
Barely done anything. Taco simply makes this judgment without any care for the truth, and he repeats it when he says that all those of sound mind have had atheism revealed to them. And to top it off, I'm not even sure what he means by special revelation. Usually I hear theists talking about that as a message from God, but Taco doesn't believe in God.
Hey, and remember when I asked you what Breakfast Taco's deal was, and you were like, immediately you understood what Breakfast Taco's deal was? Remember that? He doesn't do that. This guy, he don't get it. Hello? Oh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm just posting a link in a Discord so we get some more views here.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully.
I don't do Discord.
I got some connections now, dude.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I kind of do Discord, but not really. I mean, like
I'm like a mod in a Discord with like over 3,000 people. So.
Oh God. All right. Anyways.
So, what revelations are these?
So, Joseph.
The revelations are a joke. There aren't any actual revelations. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you reject the self-evident truth of our shared naturalistic, atheistic reality that's been revealed to all of sound mind through both natural and special revelation in an undeniable way?
I have never heard so blatantly dishonest and biased a question. It's like he's completely unaware that calling something undeniable doesn't make it undeniable.
Wait, are you saying that it's blatantly undeniable, that calling something blatantly undeniable is blatantly undeniably false?
Well, I mean, it's like, did the guy not take like 5 minutes to do a little bit of research on breakfast tacos?
Well, he wants to complain about precept. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, great. And I want to utilize breakfast taco as a way to do that. Okay, then do it in the right way. Do it while acknowledging that breakfast tacos is doing it as a shtick. And actually offer a analysis of why precept isn't working. I haven't heard an analysis yet. I've heard I don't like this.
Exactly.
Okay, and what's your argument?
But if it does, then he's wrong, and that's an undeniable fact. Were I faithful enough in my...
He's just remember the thing I just did as a joke where I was like, "Are you undeniably claiming the undeniable thing?" And then he says that. So I don't know if he's saying that seriously or as a joke. I don't know. Anyways, I complained about most of this already, but whatever.
My childhood beliefs to still be a theist, this kind of argument would have strengthened that faith. I would see clearly that the Bible is right about atheists, that they're prideful and egotistical and hard-hearted. I think that if Taco wants to convince theists over to our side, his most effective strategy would be to stop talking.
I don't think Taco is trying to convince people with his argument. I think he's trying to expose presuppositionalism for the clown show that it is.
Right. And the best way to do it is to stop talking. Wow. I thought you weren't trying to do a attack against the people, but attack against the idea.
Get back in your closet.
What? Wow, that was what?
That's what it is. It's like go back to your. You know, that's the same rhetoric.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Look, like, and I said earlier, you know, I think there's room enough for everybody. Even there's room enough for the TheStrawMan guy to make his crappy video that I'm mocking now. There's room enough for that. You know, there's room enough to be wrong. There's room enough to try to do something where you complain about atheists. You know, I've done it.
Did you reach out to him?
Who?
The TheStrawMan guy.
No, I just went live.
Well, I mean, it's fine.
I found a video. I wanted to do a video. I didn't know that he was an atheist. I just started listening to the video. I'm like, well, I got to do a video about this. And I was like, and then he said, I'm an atheist. And I was like, oh.
So you're missing the whole point then.
Too late now. But, you know, it's fine. I mean, it's fine to critique other atheists. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Bad arguments are bad arguments. It doesn't matter who they're coming from.
You know, but you need to do a decent analysis if that's what you're trying to do. And this isn't that. So, so now we're going to have, I guess later, he will then make a video about this video and complain about all the things that I did wrong. You missed earlier hyperbolicness where I told him he was dead to me. I'd never have him on my show and all that. You know,
so being like, did you invite him on was like ironic almost.
Well, I was saying I'll never talk to you, and I'm done with this video, and you know all this like pretend anger. You know,
you're right.
I mean, I find it funny, but
I think what a lot of people like, obviously this guy is missing it, is like you expose how absurd the argument that the person is making by making the same argument that they are.
Yeah, that's an argument to absurdity. Yeah, it's argument to absurdity, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's all it is. Yep.
Okay.
You said atheism self-evident. Demonstrate it.
That's not what I said there at all.
You said it at the beginning of the statement.
So Taco is a liar here because he did say
the self-evident truth of our atheistic reality.
Okay, not.
Yes.
Oh, he said.
Yes. He this okay. Well, okay, whatever, fuck it.
He chooses his
word
words
for word
wisely.
Because grammar is a thing, but it's the exact same sentiment. Taco really should just answer the question.
You can look at the trees.
The trees are not evidence of atheism. I see evidence.
Yes, they are. Look at the trees. They're flat out evidence for atheism.
Looking at a tree.
Look at the trees.
Look at the trees.
Look at the trees. Look at
Hilarious,
the trees.
Dude.
The trees are proof of atheism. What are you kidding me? Everybody knows that.
I guess the sarcasm is lost on people because of Breakfast Tacos. His dry, the way his demeanor is so dry, so I think it's just lost on people,
well,
right?
I'm gonna set up a debate between Breakfast Taco and the TheStrawMan.
Oh, you should. You definitely should. That would be hilarious. And especially if Breakfast Taco kept his like character the whole time.
Absolutely. He would have to. Why wouldn't he? And I would be like, well, as a logistician amateur, I agree with Breakfast Taco. There's nothing just to make it even worse. You know, why not? I don't care. Anyways, okay.
Right now, and it's evidence of God.
Charitably, Taco is trying to make a rhetorical point here about how vague and useless the look at the trees argument is, but he never makes that clear. As far as I can tell, he's
Yeah. Wait, what? You do understand what's... Wait, what? What?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What? Wait, no, this whole video he was treating it like it was serious. Now he gets
What a
it.
lot.
Wait, what the point? What am I?
I don't know, man.
I don't understand what I'm listening
Now I'm
to.
confused.
I'm so confused. Oh, we're almost done though. Okay.
actually making the argument that trees somehow preclude a god. After all, he's willing to give this precept script to anyone, not just theist precepts. I do wish one of them would try to explain the argument. I've always thought it to be vaguely referencing the teleological arguments. The complexity and beauty of life, like a precision watch, begs some explanation for its existence. This at least leaves the door open for a god to be that explanation. So if this were just one assertion against the other, I'd actually lean towards the theist conclusion. I don't know how Tacos is concluding that an all-powerful, all-knowing being would be incapable of creating photosynthetic carbon-based life forms.
That's because you don't understand the presuppositional worldview of atheism, but it's obvious once you understand it, the revelation will be given unto you, and then you'll understand it. So
maybe he should have studied 5 minutes before he decided to.
Look, going live and not thinking about what you're doing, only a crazy madman would do. Oh.
Well, Breakfast Taco holds lives almost weekly, right?
Yeah, I was like, he's live.
So it's not like
It's
not like this guy couldn't have just gone and talked to him.
Well, and I could have, fair enough, I could have emailed the straw man instead of doing this, but whatever.
Well, he didn't do that. So
yeah,
why?
Look, it's I didn't think about. I thought it was a theist video when I started doing it. The live stream, I did. I just thought, okay.
Yeah, and they never want to join.
I don't try to contact them because theists never respond. So I've given up on that. It's about never. It's hyperbolic, but whatever. Anyways, okay, we're almost done. All right.
The majority of the time, they don't want to talk to us.
Yeah, something like that. All right.
Certainly, his unjustified assertions don't help his position.
Now you know no gods exist. Welcome to atheism, brother.
That proves that God exists.
I think the worst part about Taco's ego is that he doesn't realize that telling people what their beliefs are isn't enough to change their beliefs. I'm pretty sure most 6-year-olds have that figured out.
Stop ad hominem. Attack the argument, not the person.
Well,
this is just more poisoning of the well.
He just said that he understood that he was making fun of the people that make these claims, that make these arguments, and now you're back to acting like he's not being hyperbolic.
I don't know, man.
It's like, come on.
What we want to hear about.
Oops, go ahead.
Is this God monster that you saw? So tell us how you saw this God monster. You're unmuted. And you're going to respond directly to the question.
I don't believe in a God
tell us about this God
I
monster.
believe in a God that judges all of us.
No, tell us about this God monster.
I'm not going to let you make comments about me, make statements about me.
Tell us about this God monster you saw.
God monster. You're a liar.
Well, you said you experienced.
Experienced God, not a God monster. That's a lie.
Just for the record, this is what Joseph said earlier in one of the sections I cut out.
I have personally witnessed God through my eyes.
So Taco is a liar when he keeps adding the word monster. It's just another one of his dishonest tactics that bakes his preferred answer into the very question to make it impossible for Joseph to answer.
That's the point.
Yeah, dude, whoosh.
Joseph has to try to explain why the question isn't valid, which Taco uses to pretend that Joseph is evading the question, when really he's the one evading asking a good question.
No, what was God?
Oh, I didn't see it.
You just said you saw it. You contradicted yourself there.
Joseph did say he saw God through his eyes. Perhaps he meant he saw God in a dream or a trance or with his mind's eye. It'd be nice if he clarifies, but I don't know if he'll be given a chance.
You know what this is like?
It's like you do know how to steel man somebody's position, but you just didn't feel like doing it?
It's like someone watching stand-up and taking everything the stand-up comedian says as
okay,
fact.
Yeah, okay. This actually, I made a video about this ages back. I don't know if I left it up or not, but Sargon of Akkad. I don't know if you know that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so he responded to comment etiquette with Eric, and comment Eric guy, internet comment etiquette, ICE. I still want him to do a video about ICE because it'd be topical. But anyways, he makes silly videos. Like, that's his whole thing, right? And he covered a video about some England thing, whatever, and then or Britain, whatever, wherever Sargon's from, England, Britain, whatever the bleep is. I don't know. Yeah, Britain. And no, it was like, the Lord of the Rings. He was making fun of the Lord of the Rings.
I love the comment etiquette guy. He's the best.
Yeah, he's great. And he made a video like making fun of that people were upset at the Lord of the Rings, the latest version thing that they put out that was not Hawk. It wasn't, it was just its own original thingy or whatever. And, it's just trash, whatever. Okay. And he's making fun of all of it. And then Sargon made a video responding to comment etiquette.
Thinking it was serious?
As if comment etiquette was serious. Yeah. And so then I made a video pointing out, like, no, this is, whatever. And
satire.
And then comment etiquette just played Sargon's whole video as he watched it and was like, isn't that like a straw man? Aren't you what do you mean? I never claimed that. And I'm like, oh man, he's getting cooked. And I'm like, I think that this is an example of you're so in your political realm that Sargon's in that everything is serious and nothing can be funny. Like it
right,
and so you
can't tell satire from reality because you're so disconnected.
And it's fine. I mean, talk about the Lord of the Rings new episode thingy, whatever the bleep that Fire Rings, whatever it was. It's
I remember that the Amazon
version.
Prime thing. It was
whatever it was. I don't know, but
it was good.
It wasn't based on the original things, and they're trying to make the orcs into like nuanced people because they don't want the orcs to be bad people because that would be, they're minorities, and we, it's like, what are you talking about, guys? This isn't reality. Stop it. It's racist to hate the orcs.
Like
the orcs are
Star
bad.
Wars. The original Star Wars, it was a metaphor for the Vietnam War, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So
these shows like this have always been political, and it's funny when people are like, "Why are they bringing politics into it?" It's like,
right. So that's the weird thing with Star Wars is the good guys, are they Vietnam and the bad guy is America?
America, yeah.
So absolutely. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Oh, anyways, but yeah. At any rate, We're okay. Back to this. We're 4 more minutes to go.
You don't even have a foundation for morality or anything, and you're sitting here lying to me.
Hey.
Right now, it's more of a miscommunication than a lie, and yet Taco throws out the baseless accusation that Joseph has no moral foundation. I might disagree with Joseph's foundation, but I'm not stupid enough to think he doesn't have one whatsoever. And given that Taco has lied twice in this conversation already, he's now a hypocrite, my least favorite kind of idiot. But on a happier note, what do you guys think of me remixing this and trying to make some sort of intro music out of it?
Hey.
Hello, my fellow strawmen, and welcome back to the fields of...
Hey. Calm down. I saw God as light personally. I've experienced God in many different ways. I know you may not like them.
See, some clarification. Frankly, I still find it a little vague, but at least Joseph is trying. And with the hostile audience he has, I can't really blame him for not giving more detail.
The trees show God's beauty. The grass shows.
So the only reason you say that is because you aren't of sound mind. What's going on?
In other words,
you said you saw.
If you think
so, you said that you. So yes. So everybody that doesn't, everybody that believes in a God is not of sound mind. So for clarification.
Wait.
So you said that you saw. You're not going to overtalk me on my channel. So you think that you saw God as light.
Everyone who thinks God is real is crazy.
That was my statement. Yes.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It is the stupidest thing Joseph's ever heard. Again, with the baseless accusation, this time in the form of a defense mechanism whereby Taco thinks that anyone who disagrees with him is of unsound mind.
Oh, you mean like how you're saying that Precept makes you a liar and idiot. Like
it's like
everybody
every time...
that doesn't, everybody that uses precept is a liar / idiot, whatever. Yeah, they might be, but what's their argument? Their argument sucks. That's what matters.
That's the whole point of what Taco is doing.
Yes, Saitan Burgergate is an asshole. Also, his argument sucks.
Oh my god, you should play that video. You should actually play the music video that you're in. That's a great music video. You know what I'm talking about.
I've been a lot of Saitan Atheist. I have a whole playlist.
No, yeah, you're in the Saitan Atheist. Oh, you're in quite a few of them. You're right.
Yes, I am. He was a good, great friend of mine. And
whatever happened to Saitan?
He retired. I mean,
I know he did, but
and I tried to contact him a couple of times throughout the years, and he doesn't want to email me. I guess he's just done. All right.
Okay.
I hope he's doing well, and I miss him a lot, and I appreciate
too, man.
I appreciate everything he did for me, and
I wish he
was
came back.
A great friend. Yeah, he's
I wish he would come back.
And people sometimes didn't get what he was doing, and took him too seriously. Saitan Atheist stuff. Here we go.
He's so good, man.
Max Trent. I don't know that there's a music video that Saitan did. I mean, he did music for me. Which one are you talking about?
There's some. You're in a couple of.
I know that. I'm in
the Brett Keane video, I think.
Am I? Here's my playlist.
You're in the Brett Keane
if there's a video that should be on this playlist that I don't have on this playlist, I need to know. These are all the
you're
Saitan
in one of the
stuff,
Brett Keane ones.
Here's the Saitan one, Matt's Transcendent Asshole. Then I did the censor version because they didn't.
Here's a Fist Me in the Gash. You're in that one.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that one. And
those
are the only. Yeah, those are the only ones that I have on my playlist.
I just watched a song the other day with you in it.
Maybe. If you find it, email it to me so I can put it on my list.
Is it the Brett Keane motherfucking opera? It's that one. You're in that one.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Brett.
I got it.
How do you spell it?
I got it. I'll post it.
I don't know how to spell it.
I got it.
I suck. I'm an asshole. Also, my argument is fine.
Dude, I've actually I talked to Brett Keane about once a year. It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people you just have to laugh. He's just. He's just.
We've known him for 20 years now.
Oh yeah, it was just dude. I was this one song that Caroline Makes Music covered for me, "Empty the Pocket" from Escaflowne, and I was listening to it again because it's on my playlist. I have it burned on a CD and it's in my car. And I was like, oh man, it's such a good song. And it's that was 7 years ago. Oh my god, what the hell? How is things up? Okay, where is this? Show me again.
I posted it in the private chat.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. What are you talking about? Let's see. Where am I?
In StreamYard.
Yeah, I know, but I'm looking for me. I don't see me.
You're in there. You're in that video, dude. I'm pretty damn sure.
Nah, I don't believe it.
Yeah, you are. we should play that song anyway.
Okay, I'll fuck it. All credit to Saitan Atheist.
Here in my dingy room, with my pajamas on, adding more shit to my wish list on Amazon. Send to my home address a cornucopia of shit to distract me from my agoraphobia. I dream of Hollywood and of a better life, but until that day, I'll beat up my wife. I'm gonna beat my wife. I will punch her in the fucking face.
So good.
I wrote a masterpiece of Gothic fiction. It sold 2 copies, so I face eviction. Please pay my legal fees and pay my rent for me, or I will accuse you of attacking my family. This state of misery, such an inspiring place, it moves me to punch my wife in the face.
Oh, poor wife.
Good face.
Oh, God. It's so wrong.
I will knock out all the fucking teeth.
She gets her revenge in the end there.
Yeah.
No, he's still around.
I wasn't in that video.
No, you were not. I was wrong, but it was still worth watching.
Yeah. Regret equals nothing. Where were we? All right, back to this thing. This is the most unhinged thing I've ever done.
It's exactly as stupid as when some theist says that all atheists are illogical and deny their own hearts. It poisons the well and demonstrates how little Taco is interested in having an honest conversation.
Now, I asked you,
like, are you interested in having an honest analysis? Like, I don't know, whatever.
About this God monster, and you said you saw light.
You're
telling
lying.
me that the light is your God monster?
I never said it was a monster. You're a liar, dude. You're just making
You think that your God monster is light?
I see. You keep going on with God monster. I never said monster. You're just.
Well, of course he never said monster. He
So you
knows
think it's
that.
light?
He's adding that to it because it's
I
inflammatory
think that
on
God
purpose.
is more than.
Oh, sorry, you were. Yeah, I didn't.
I was
see
just
your...
saying he's just doing it to be inflammatory. Obviously,
Right? No, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Light, but yeah, I think light is divine, of divine.
But you saw light, and you think it's your God.
I can understand Joseph's frustrations that Taco continues to have the word monster, but Taco does technically make one good point. Personal experience of light isn't enough to conclude that a god exists. I don't know why so many people think they can access objective truth through subjective experience. Maybe I'm just not understanding the experience Joseph had, but I don't know why any experience of light should convince someone that there is a personal God who created the universe. Seems like a leap to me.
Yes.
So you do get it.
Personal experiences are of X can.
I think they're the worst.
They're powerful, but we are experiencing everything all the time personally.
Well, they're powerful in the sense that they're the easiest way to convince someone that something is true for no good reasons. Like you can brainwash someone into, or you can prime their brain into thinking that a god is communicating with them, because you can. Our imaginations are really weak. And our minds are so susceptible to the power of suggestion. People do not realize that. Like sometimes when I'm like at a party or something, there's like a party trick I'll do where I'll just like be like, oh, I can make you see a color if I want right now. And they'll be like, what? You know, and it's like, oh, just don't imagine a pink elephant, you know?
Right.
That sort of thing. And it's like, it's impossible not to.
Right. The personal experience, okay, so we are observing the world through our personal experience all the time. But when we're talking about religious phenomenon, we're talking about a different sort of experience, because we're talking about an experience that is feeling and not observation based. It is complete feels. And
well, there's no way to evaluate it.
There's nobody else that can also verify what you are, you know.
I look at it this way. Like,
we can see it
like
in
children go, I think there's a boogeyman in my closet.
Right.
God is just the adult boogeyman in the closet. That's all it is.
Yeah. You have this strong fear of X, or you have this strong love of X, and then you label it in such a way that gives it power or reduces its power. You know,
Mom, there's a Jesus under my bed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, what is the boogeyman?
Well, it's that my, I don't know, but I'm creeped out right now, and I don't know why, and I'm feeling, vulnerable. So I want to make sure that my room is secure. And I can't have my closet open. There's no I know that there's nothing in it, but I can't sleep with it open. So I mean that's there's no rhyme or reason to that. It's just that if you get used to it, then maybe you can. But
yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, all right. So I've told people occasionally, like, oh, you want to scare yourself, like turn off the light in a room, stick your arm in that room, and that might scare you because it's like you can feel creeped out that it's like your arm's in the room, it's dark, you don't know what's in there,
It
and
might not be safe. It's called superstition. It's
right,
like a vestigial limb, right?
Yeah, so it might creep you out. It might not work though, because not everybody's works for me. Scares the hell. I can scare myself. But at any rate, so that's the sort of personal experience that we're talking about, where he saw light or he felt warmth or whatever, and he thinks that is God. Okay. Why do you think it's God? Well, because you were primed to think that God is a thing that will manifest itself in this way. Fair enough. But is that a way to get to the truth of what it is? Or is it a way to just reaffirm what is already believed about what it is? So those are those critical questions we ought to be asking about the personal experience of God, or anything that can't be.
How do we separate my experience from my mind and imagination? And how do I determine it's actually a part of reality? See, my problem is they will make personal experiences they all come down to basically arguments from personal incredulity. I can't explain X, so therefore it was God.
Yeah. When I was Christian and I thought that I was experiencing God, it was just myself tapping into myself to give myself
your emotions that you hadn't maybe ever felt before.
Right. Like, so I now know how to make myself feel those feelings without invoking God at all. Because
have you ever seen the show the dude called Darren Brown? He's like a mentalist.
Yeah.
He gives the person like a religious experience.
Yeah, I saw that one. I'm a little bit skeptical of his stuff because he did the weird thing with the lotto thing that Captain Disillusion debunked. But I thought that it's like fair enough. You went too far. Like
I don't know about the lotto thing. Maybe I did see that. It was been
you'd have to. It's like Captain Disillusion's first video series.
That was from like a couple years ago.
Yeah, great blue, purple, pink lotto, something lotto debunk or whatever. But yeah, so. Okay.
But regardless, he did do the Manchurian Candidate thing.
Yeah,
he did a bunch of things like that.
By reality TV, I don't know. Oh, you gotta watch the rehearsal. I gotta say, you gotta watch the rehearsal. Everybody needs to watch the rehearsal. Watch the rehearsal. Watch both seasons. The second season has topped the first. Oh my god. Anyways, all right. Back to this. Hey man. I guess.
2 minutes left.
But we must end as unfortunately as we began, because Taco's mic cuts off just as he's finishing his question. Joseph never really answers the implications I just pointed out in Taco's question, instead just solidifying some earlier points before he realizes the technical issues. I'll leave it to the audience to decide if the mic cutting out was because Taco ran away. If there's one lesson I want my fellow atheists to take away from this video, people who argue in good faith put both options on the table and seriously weigh them to decide if there is any good reason to believe one or the other is true. Either at least one God exists, or none do. The discussion we're having is about the reasons to believe in one or the other, so to presuppose your conclusion ought to disqualify you from participating. Actually, maybe not disqualify, because I don't believe in censorship of any kind, but I do think people should mock precepts and refuse to take them seriously, no matter how much they whine about it. I don't care what side of the debate you're on, don't be a pre-sup. Friar Joseph, if you happen to see this video, please don't let breakfast tacos represent atheism to you. Come talk to me. And the rest of you, go read a fucking book.
Jeez. I thought I was hyperbolic.
I thought you were condescending. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been condescending. Yeah, I have my moments. Well, I mean, nothing more to say. This was a subpar analysis. They didn't. He pointed out a few fallacies here and there.
It's like trying to critically analyze and taking seriously the life of Brian.
Yeah, well, look, I can offer an analysis of breakfast tacos presupposition and do so in a logical manner without.
Yeah, we all could.
Without appealing to ridicule or poisoning the well or attacking the person. I don't need to say that he's stupid or that presuppositionalism is stupid. I don't need to do any of that. Presuppositionalism is circular reasoning. That's it. That's what it is. Yep. That's why it breaks logic.
It assumes the conclusion.
It assumes that's it. That's it. Done. The tactics used are typically, for some reason, I don't really know, being irritating and annoying.
Abusive. They're abusive.
And
it's abuse. It's a lot of gaslighting. They will come up to you and they'll be like, "Oh, you can't justify reason and rational thought," because they do this to people that haven't really thought about it, that maybe aren't trained in or understand philosophy at all. And they'll go up to them and be like, "Well, how do you justify your morality?" And they were like, "Well, I don't know." But it's all just, what the precept is? It's all just it's all based on the other person's position. You have to it's like, well, if your position is based on what I believe, that's kind of messed up, right?
I've covered precept many times. I was trying to figure out where
there's a lot of problems with it.
Yeah, where the interview is I have with the one guy that
I just consider it a form of abuse, though.
Yeah,
personally,
he went into the precept script, and it was abusive and arrogant and mean and condescending. And it was a totally different personality than what he'd had just prior to doing that. And I'm like, What the heck, man? This is not, and I don't know why that happens in precept. It's very interesting that's the tactic that many I don't know all. I can't say all the ones that
answer this guy Skeptic Philosophy is asking if we have Discord. Oh. If you go on to the Deconstruction Junction on Discord is what it's called. I'm a mod on there. If you want to join in that, there's a bunch of people in there, thousands of people.
I don't know what stand-up that was. I don't have Discord.
What stand-up? What did he ask? What stand-up comedy bit said Jesus is a babysitter?
I don't know. Don't know.
I'm trying to remember. Was that a Carlin thing, maybe? I don't know.
Possibly. But yeah, so I mean, I've done it Precept 101, Precept with David Wood, Precept Nonsense, Circular Precept Brain, Precept Nonsense and more.
Can I say something about David Wood? He reminds me, my mom's ex-boyfriend is a literal psychopath. He murdered someone. He's serving life in prison, right? And David Wood reminds me of him so much. It scares the crap out of me. I'm like, I wouldn't go near that guy with a 10-foot pole. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And the fact that apostate prophet got duped by him and got sucked into that whole. The thing is that people like David Wood are really good at making you feel good if you're around them. Right? They're really good. Narcissists are really good at pumping up people that kind of kowtow to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as long as you're kissing their ass, they will boost your ego at the same time. So I think it's interesting to me to see how apostate prophet basically got manipulated by a narcissist.
Yeah.
By a psychopath.
Like this guy.
Yeah. made by Jim Bob, yeah, I would say he's definitely on the spectrum of being a sociopath.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, he's doing the thing. He's doing the thing. Oh,
Damn
he's got
it.
it. Look at
He's going full Elon.
Look, but look, he's got the symbol, but it's the wrong symbol. I was so smart. It's the other symbol. It's the Buddhist symbol.
Buddhist. Well, I did when I lived in Asia. There was like a Buddhist monastery.
Yeah.
When I lived in Korea, and they did have the symbols like that.
Yeah.
And I was always like,
they were first.
This is
That's
so,
what they.
Yeah.
The Nazis took it,
and they go the other direction. They don't.
They flipped it. Yeah, they flipped it, and but and even the flip version's been used by other cultures, so it's been around a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the straw man, I was joking before when I say he's not invited to talk.
No,
to me
he should
or
totally
whatever.
come on.
No,
and
he
talk to us.
can
That'd be
talk.
great.
I don't care, but he's not going to. I don't think. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I wouldn't count him out.
I mean, I don't know. Look,
I remain positive.
I'm jaded, so who knows? Whatever.
Yeah, but
Anyways,
I'm jaded. I'm way more jaded than you are.
No,
I
you're
guarantee
not.
it.
I am more
That's
jaded
bullshit.
than you are. I am so
No.
jaded. I am super mega jaded.
No.
I'm so jaded that
You want to compare jadedness?
look, I don't. It's not even worth doing because there's no point. Because it's all meaningless. Yeah, my nihilism is better than. I'm more humble than you. Anyway,
I am super jaded though.
Anyway,
But that's what I think that the fact that we've experienced a lot of tragedy and whatever else.
Yeah,
that's what makes us
fuck.
like better people. We
So
learn
I
to
gotta
deal with that.
wrap up this insanity. Okay, so we didn't have a decent analysis. I don't.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm fine. Like I said, absolutely, 100% fine with analyzing anybody. That's great. Love it. I'm here for it. But if you're gonna do so, attack the arguments, not the person. Don't create ad hominems and poisoning the well while you're attempting to tackle presupposition or any other philosophy or ideas out there. Don't just say, well, we shouldn't take presupposition seriously. We should just mock them, laugh at them, whatever. Is that going to change their mind? No.
Yeah.
Is it going to change the mind of anybody else?
Sometimes it does.
No, I don't know. Yeah. Well, yeah. And
if you're friends with them, it does.
Now, is his criticism Breakfast Taco might make this guy more believe?
It depends. It
I don't
depends on
know.
how much. It depends on how much the person you're making fun of values your opinion. Like if you're friends with someone and you start mocking them for a position that they hold, they'll probably discard it.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I think there's room enough for all the different approaches that atheists take to theism. I don't know if Breakfast Tacos.
I'm just down for whatever works.
Yeah, I don't know. It might make people more convinced. It might not. I don't know. Who knows? We don't. Who knows?
I think Breakfast Tacos was just obsessed with the precept argument. And he studied it so much that he learned to do it.
It's his thing, and I get it. Like I said, I don't. If you don't like the content, fine, don't watch it, whatever. But if you're gonna criticize the argument, do that. I didn't hear that in this video.
And you can also talk to him out of character when he's not in that character.
Yeah, and I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
So anyways, but I mean, again, I didn't reach out to the StrawMan guy, and that, I suck. And he's coming in too. Oh, sure, why not? Who cares? I didn't reach out to the StrawMan guy, and now,
You gotta
oh my God, he's coming in too.
You gotta have headphones, bro.
Echo, oh my God. I regret everything. I'm putting him backstage while you sorts that out. Wait, let's put him back in.
Get some headphones, Skeptic.
Headphones,
Philosophy.
wait, let's put him back in here. Hello?
Better.
No more echo.
But
Green
maybe...
screen. Let's do fun things with the green screen. There's nothing more to talk about though. I'm done. I want to wrap up. I was trying to wrap up, but I can't wrap up now. Damn it. Well, he's not saying anything.
Now he's muted.
I'm trying 2 more seconds.
You had volume before. You just
He
didn't
did,
have...
but he didn't have. Nah, wrap it up. Okay, fine. All right. So not a good analysis, no empirical evidence, no repeatable tests. All those things don't apply necessarily to this case. But did we have a valid and sound argument? No. Did we have a valid analysis? No. Did I analyze his analysis correctly?
Probably not.
Who knows? I don't know. Someone else has to analyze my analysis. It never ends. Okay, until next time, be skeptical. And after next time, stay skeptical. And remember, lobsters are God. The lobsterist said so. So, if you haven't figured that out, you got to read that book. And also, after you read that book, buy my 3 books that I have. Because or you can just throw money at me. Yeah, either way. All right, goodbye, everybody. Let's put let's put this in here too. Oh no, he went away. And he's in the stream.